Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Gallivanting Kendall. Welcome back to all my old subscribers and new subscribers. I appreciate all your support of my channel. Today, I want to tell you about how I am having the most amazing landlord experience I ever thought I could have here in the Philippines. I'll tell you all about it. Hit like and subscribe, and let's ride. All right, guys, welcome back. Welcome back. It's good to see you all today. Glad you're here. Glad you're tuning in. Hope everybody's healthy. I am having the most amazing landlord experience here in the Philippines. When I first moved here, I was in Lapu-Lapu City. I moved into a house that was first an Airbnb, but I decided I wanted to stay longer. So they gave my dog Allie and I a good deal, and the house had a lot of problems. I was the first person they rented it to. Had a very, very leaky roof, had a lot of ants, and some other issues going on. But you want to know something? All I did was bring it up with the landlord. She put in a brand new roof, took the water tank off the top of the roof to take some stress off the roof, and helped me get rid of the ants. She got me a water filter, an inline water filter, just to make things more comfortable for me. And she was amazing, and she is no longer with us. God rest her soul. Now, I stayed there 8 months, and I moved here to Naga City, and I met Queenie. Shout out to Queenie, my landlord's daughter, but she made all the arrangements, and we chatted, and I went down with my friend David and his former Filipino wife, and we came and checked out this place that I live in now, and I really, really love it here. And I got to tell you, man, every time something goes wrong, they fix it right away without even a blink of an eye. So we have water tanks, pretty common here in the Philippines, but the water pressure in these units has been gravity. So as you can imagine, the water pressure is not, it's not great, but it's good enough. And you find that when you move here to the Philippines that, things are not what you're accustomed to in the US, but they're good enough. Okay. And you're in a nice place and it makes you happy, and that's all that matters. And so this past couple of weeks, Queenie's mom, Lisa, decided that she was going to put a water pump in next to all of the attach a water pump to all of the water tanks so that we could have great water pressure, and we do. I mean, now the water pressure it's almost too strong in the shower, but it's awesome water pressure, man. I think that when she did that, whoever installed the toilets, the bidet, and the sink, they didn't use the proper sealant on the fittings. And maybe the fittings might not have fit exactly the way they were supposed to. I'm not a plumber, so I'm only describing it as best I can in layman's terms. Perhaps some of my subscribers out there can correct me and give me some ideas of what you think might have happened. But she put the water pumps in. The pressure was great, but day before yesterday, I had some leakage in my upstairs CR. CR is comfort room. It's what Filipinos call the bathroom. So I had some leakage. It wasn't too bad, but there was water on the floor, and it's a little uncomfortable if you have to get up in the middle of the night to go to the restroom. So I mentioned it to Queenie. She got back to me. She said, my mom said that, asked if you can wait till Wednesday, and she's going to go out and pick up the materials, and she'll send Glenn. Glenn is the handyman slash plumber. He does all their handyman work, and he's very good. She's going to send him over to fix it. I said, sure, I can wait till Wednesday. Well, yesterday, I woke up, went to the restroom upstairs. There was a small puddle of water on the floor. No big deal. I expected it. It's going to be fixed on Wednesday, right? Huh. Well, this was Tuesday, and I went downstairs, and the entire first floor was flooded with water. Flooded with water. And I looked everywhere. I checked under the kitchen sink. It was dry as a bone. I checked the walls. I couldn't figure out where the water was coming from. And I was texting Queenie right away. And her mom and Glenn came right over. And they were in the unit next door because there were some leakage problems with the unit next door after they installed the new pump for that water tank. So they came over and they went into the downstairs CR, which I hadn't really looked in there, and it was flooded. And they said to me, "This is where the water's coming from." And I looked in there, and sure enough, there was about a ½ inch to 3/4 of an inch of water in there, and it had spread out all over my living room floor, all the way through the kitchen, through the living room, to the front door, which was about 20 feet away. And I put my gym down there, so I had I have ½ inch gym tiles that are about 2 foot by 2 foot to protect the floor. And I moved my gym down there because I will be moving by the end of the year. I'm also upgrading my gym, and I just thought, you know what, I'm going to take it off the roof and move it to the living room. I'm still single. I don't have to impress anybody. I don't have to check in with anybody. I'll just have my gym on the first floor. It'll make it much easier to move when the time comes in a few months. So, I mean, she came over and she inspected the house with Glenn, both CRs, and she looked at me and she smiled. She said, "I am going right now to get the materials. I'm going right now to get the materials, and I'm going to send Glenn back to fix it after lunch." Now, for most people here in the Philippines, lunch hour is 12 noon to 1 o'clock for most people, not for retail store workers or people like that, or people who work in food service. But for most people, you know, the country pretty much goes to lunch at noon, or banks, you know. But for most people, the lunch break is noon to 1. She said, "I'm going to send Glenn back and we're going to get it fixed today." Okay, so I'm thinking, oh, this is great. I thought, you know, maybe 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Glenn would be back, maybe even 4. 10 after 1, Glenn was here. He had everything he needed. He came in. I was cleaning. It took me hours to clean it up because I had to take up all of the gym tiles, take them outside, let them sit in the sun and dry, and I had to mop up all that water. And it took a very long time because there were also items that I had on the floor. See, I have already started packing for my move to Manila, so I have boxes all over the place. I have boxes on the second floor on the landing at the top of the stairs. I have boxes in the walkway from my bedroom to the CR, boxes lining that walkway area, that little hallway. So I've already started packing for that several months ago. Anyway, and there are boxes downstairs underneath the stairwell. Underneath the stairs, I had boxes stacked up, and I had to take all that stuff out and put it outside so it could dry out. Put it out in the on the porch area. And I still have more things to go through, but there's not anything that can really get damaged. But I have to pull that out and probably put them in other boxes because the corrugated is ruined. But anyway, so I'm doing all this, and Glenn came over at 1, and he worked till about 5 o'clock, maybe a little after. And I was still working, trying to get things together. And, you know, I was just so impressed. I was just so impressed that he came and got right on it. And last night, everything was fine. But this morning, or during the night, when I had to get up to go to the restroom, I noticed there was water on the floor of the upstairs CR. Again, not a lot, just a little, you know, just like the first time. And then this morning, when I finally got up, I was going to work out in the gym, and I went downstairs, and I'm praying, oh God, please don't let the downstairs be flooded again. And it wasn't. It was dry, but I went to the CR, I went to the downstairs bathroom, and there was a small puddle of water there. And I texted Queenie, and she texted her mom, and Glenn came right over, and he fixed it. He fixed it. Both bathroom floors are dry as a bone. I've been very lucky I've been very lucky since I moved here. You know, before I came here, I would see, you know, vloggers talk about their deadbeat landlords and, you know, how they could never get anything fixed, and, you know, it would take months, you know, to get things repaired. I've had two landlords who've been very, very nice people, you know, very accommodating, and always made sure that the tenant was happy, you know, always made sure that I was happy, and have become friends. I become friends. I'm friends with Queenie. She is my friend. And in fact, she had a big cookout. They had a big cookout, her and her mom, Lisa, over the fiesta. And I was invited. And I went, and we had lechon and pancit and rice, and, you know, had a big feast. And I was one of, I guess, 50 people that went through there that day. And it was amazing. So I just want to talk about that. I wanted to let you guys know that there are amazing landlords here in the Philippines, and you can find them. And there's kind of a way you can do that. Perhaps I'll do a video about that, how to screen landlords, because after all, they're screening us, right? So, but there are ways to gauge people's character. And I didn't realize I was doing it, but, you know, I got very, very fortunate. I have had two amazing landlords, and my leak is fixed. My floors are bone dry now. And if you feel you got value out of this video, hit like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Thank you to all my subscribers. And as always, take care of each other and give somebody a great day.